Is the work week giving you the blues? Let's turn that frown upside down. It's Wednesday. You know what time it is. What is good, everybody? It's Wednesday. It's 8:30. It's New Comic Book Day. Best day of the week. I'm excited. We got a nice little group of books here to talk about tonight. We're going to do a couple other little different things. We're going to experiment a little bit. We're going to check out some stuff because now it's more important now than it ever has been to pay attention to the modern comic book market, the secondary market, the New Comic Book Day market, everything. Skate where the puck is going to be. And that puck's moving everywhere. So let's get into the chat tonight. What's going on, everybody? Thank you for being here. Like we said, it's Wednesday night and it's 8:30 and you are in the right spot. If New Comic Book Day is your day, you are in the right spot. Come on, mamas in the house. What is up, fam? The Paul Dunn Show, buddy. Good to see you. Thanks for being here. That's no cardboard cutout. That's the real Paul Dunn, 100%. There you go. Dale Suspense, what is up, buddy? Good to see you as well. Peter Parker's Pants, good to see you, brother. Hopefully, will you be going to Grand Rapids Comic-Con this weekend? Let me know, man. Not quite sure if we're going, but let me know as more people filter in here. Yes, it's exciting to be back regular on a Wednesday again. Wait, who is this guy, JP says? Yeah, JP coming to drop the dad jokes tonight. But we have successfully trimmed back the pull list. I mean, we're talking 7 books tonight. And we had a lot of catching up to do. There's still a lot of organizing happening down here in the comic cave. There, I mean, 1, 2, 3. There's like 6 short boxes sitting out, just waiting to try to read through everything, get everything packed up and put away. But I'm more importantly, I'm excited that we really did get caught up on some reads, and I'm really happy to talk about that tonight because there's a DC book in the lineup tonight. We've got some Marvel, we've got some indie, and I'm going to jump right into it. We're going to jump right into the books. Then we're going to check out something we're going to share. And then we're probably going to pop back into the books in a little bit here. But yes, DC book up front, right at the very get-go. Nice House on the Lake, book 11 is out. Let's talk about this. Who else has been reading Nice House on the Lake? You're in the chat, or if you are watching the replay, in the comments down below, who's all reading Nice House on the Lake? And where are you guys at with this? Because I'll be honest, I spent the time to get caught up on this book. Granted, they've taken 2 extended breaks, if I remember correctly, something somewhere after book 6. Then there was another break just recently, and book 11 is back. And I got to tell you guys, this is like a weird episode of Gilligan's Island mixed with Lost. And I'll tell you what's lost is my motivation to keep reading, unfortunately, because once again, taking breaks and pulling a book out of a cycle or kind of putting it on the back burner and waiting and doing any sort of a long hiatus or long break. Barring Saga's the one that, okay, I'll cope with it. But this book suffers. Nice House on the Lake suffers from the breaks. Like, seriously, there's just no emotional commitment or attachment after that first 4, 5, 6 books when they go into the first break. And then when they come back, yeah, just kind of not really attached anymore. The hype has kind of died down. People aren't really talking about it. I'm not as excited. When I see it, it comes out, it almost turns into a chore, right? It hits the stack. I want to see where the trail leads. I want to see what the reward is going to be at the end of the episode or the end of the series. Unfortunately, I don't know how Tinian's going to end this in any sort of a way that's rewarding for the people that have been on this for over a year. Mind you, I think October 2021 was when they started the first break. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like October 2021 was about the time they did that first break. It had such great momentum, Peter. It did at first. October 2021 last year was that first break. So here we are, November of 2022, and we're only on book 10 of a 12-book miniseries or maxi series or whatever you want to call it. 12 issues is what I'm remembering. And it's almost 2 years to get it out and get it done. Yeah, that's kind of a stinker, in my opinion, on how that runs. I don't see how they're going to end this in any way that's going to feel redeeming or rewarding because it's like a weird mashup episode of Lost and Gilligan's Island. none of the characters are relatable to me now after those massive breaks. And I don't know where anybody else is at. Paul Dunn says it's been forever. Got to catch up. The hiatus. Yeah, I'm with Peter. The hiatus threw me off. In fact, whether it's supplies or parts issues or availability, or I get the feeling that Tynion's doing too many things. And I don't know why he took the break that he did with Nice House on the Lake, but I will say this book suffered drastically because of that. And there's 2 more issues. I'm going to read it, but I'm pretty much holding my reservations, and I feel like there will be no reward to the end of the series. Nothing like Gideon Falls or any other horror tales that I've read over the last 3 or 4 years. I don't feel like there's going to be much of a reward to this, because what are you going to do in the last 2 issues? At this point, where you look at it right now from issue 1 to issue 10, they've drug it on and drug it on and drug it on and drug it on, and now they got to get to the point. So that's where I'm at with the book. I'm Peter, and I'm sure a lot of other people out there were reading it, were excited, but yeah, Robbie, hiatus threw me off too. There's only 11 books. Nope, sorry, this is issue 11, not 10. There's only 1. So yeah, how the hell are they going to make this a rewarding end of the series with 1 issue left? I feel like with Tynion and the way he works, there's probably going to be something else, Nice House on the Lake, coming out, like spinoff-y, or I feel like we'll see something else with a Nice House on the Lake title on it. I won't be buying it though. There's nothing rewarding or redeeming from this almost 2-year journey for a 12-issue story. Spread too thin, absolutely. Come on, Mama is still in the house. Zuni, speaking of a little fist bump action, don't forget the mission for the year of 2022 is Mission 22. All super chats, all super stickers, all ad revenue, all donations, everything gets donated to Mission 22. We did that first donation in the first half of the year. The last donation will be going this December. We'll be making that happen. Absolutely. And while we're talking about supporting groups, don't forget, read down below in the description. We are partnered up with Impressive Comic Book Services. Gary over there does a fantastic job. We've been sending him books in batches and do a nice little number of books every month going out to him. Really excited to be working with Gary. Gary has moved. Gary has added presses, and he has added to his level of production. So don't be afraid to hit up and message Gary and get on his list and see where with that. Does amazing work. Facebook group, Instagram, check out all the stuff he's doing. Really, really awesome guy to be working with on pressing and cleaning comic books. So thank you. Michael, good to see you as well. What's up, guys? Luke's Comics says, holy shit. What's up, brother? Good to see you as well. The Paul Dunn Show dropping a $10 super chat going to Mission 22. Thank you very much, sir. So that's the first book. We are 8.5 minutes in. We've only got 1 book in. But comment down below. You guys watching on the replay, comment down below. You guys in the live chat that have been speaking up. We all kind of seem to be of like mind that the breaks really hurt the book. And how would it have turned out if there were no breaks and it just would have went a full 12 months and it would have already been dreamed up and already like not labeled, but figured out so that it would just drop and it would go. That's the only DC book. Yes. Still not buying much in the way of DC books. Like we said, we talked about trimming back for the year of 2022 a little bit, and it took most of the year to get there. Now we're here, but now I feel like leading into the fall and after the fall is when you get into middle of winters, when they start releasing some other things that are a little bit more exciting. We'll see what happens. I never read the Nice House series. Come on, Mama. I'll save you your money and probably just try to send you the whole run so you guys can read it. Moving right along, we're in Marvel. And speaking of things that I don't quite understand is why did Marvel release Star Wars The High Republic and just call it Star Wars The High Republic again? What are we doing here? What's the point? What's the purpose? Where's our man Nemesis Prime, who has a little bit more insight than I do to figure out why are we re-releasing under the same title with a different story in a different time frame? But what makes this stand out? Anything? Nothing so far. Now, issue 2 is out. I did get caught up and read issue 1, but then as I was getting ready to dive into issue 2, I realized what time it was, and it's time to go live for Wednesday. We'll read issue 2 here right after the show, but I don't quite get it. Granted, we're picking up pretty much everything Star Wars. We're really enjoying reading everything Star Wars. I've got some stuff to get caught up on. I'm sure a lot of other people do. Peter, it is volume 2, but there is nothing on the title anywhere to denote that it's volume 2. There's not another name. It's just, um, I mean, is that something they normally do? I don't know. I feel like Star Wars, everything I've been reading Star Wars for so long is, if there's been, you have the first issue, but I haven't read it. Come on, Mama says. It's one of those things where it's like Star Wars 2015, Star Wars 2017. There's years in between. Like High Republic just ended, if it felt like not too long ago, and then we're bouncing right into High Republic again. And it's High Republic Volume 2. Where's it going to go? I do know that when you read through High Republic, this Volume 2, and you look at the back pages and you kind of see the lineup, there only seems to be one spinoff for this. The Blade, I think it was. There's only one spinoff, which seems manageable. Where are they going with this, though? What's remarkable about this? What's the point, kind of? You know what I mean? I hope they deliver this time. I felt like the High Republic last time wasn't bad, but it felt like it left me wanting more. Speaking of that, when you're walking through your LCS, I noticed this today at my LCS, it seems like a lot of the High Republic key issues from Volume 1 are hitting the back issue bin and hitting at affordable prices. I just wonder if LCSs are stumbling on copies that they didn't know about or they didn't see or they kind of held in reserve or what, but that stuff's getting restocked heavy. Pretty nice. We did get the variant cover price variant cover. I almost felt like this should have been the 1 in 25 because we did get the 1 in 25. And what choices are we making when we're doing ratio variants in Star Wars books? Because this is not a bad cover. It looks good. But a 1 in 25, 1 in 50, 1 in 100, I really kind of like am expecting my socks to be knocked off. At this point, my expectations are really low with a lot of Star Wars ratio variants. And if it wasn't for the modern market kind of like correcting itself and finding a 1 in 25 for less than half or half ratio, I mean, I can't be the only one finding Marvel ratio books for half ratio now. It's almost like a door opened somewhere just in the last like month or two. All of a sudden, ratio variants on Wednesdays are half. I remember for a long time that ratio variants were ratio price, 25, 50, 75, 100, something like that. And then over the last 2 years, things exploded, right? Ratio variants were getting priced based off of pre-sales, priced off of eBay stuff. And, you're getting 1 in 1,000 ratios for, people asking well over 1,000, 1 in 5. You know what I mean? You guys know where this is kind of going, right? The correction is correcting itself almost 2 or 3 years ago. I haven't seen like Marvel ratio books at below ratio prices on a Wednesday for like 3 years. I can't be the only one that's kind of noticing this, right? Ryan the Gray, what is up? Hello, man. Good to see you. Star Wars. Yeah, it is volume 2, but it's like I felt like Star Wars really only kind of did that with the Star Wars title and like the Vader title. And now they're just, yeah. Yep. There's some new High Republic series in Dark Horse. Yeah, so Dark Horse now is going back with some Star Wars. That's something I want to explore a little bit as well. Not just reading the series, but they got the rights back and what happened there where Dark Horse wasn't doing Star Wars books for a while and now they are again. I remember vaguely talking about it with Brian and a bunch of other people on another show not too long ago. Either way, something changed, something happened. Either Marvel lost something or sold something, or yeah, either way. You finally got around to watching that documentary on clocks. It was about time, he says. You got that ratio for half today too? Yeah, so it's not just my LCS. It's not just where I'm at. Robbie got it for $9. That's see, that's what we're talking about. It's like none of the Marvel titles are like so explosively popping off first thing on Wednesdays that I can think of that they're getting cleared out. I think it was that Tiger team last week or the week before. Tiger Brigade? No, maybe it was Tiger Brigade. I can't remember the title. I went looking for a copy to read and it was sold out already. I think that Art Germ cover, 1 in 100. I don't know what that's going for, but Tiger Division. Thank you, Peter. Like that one was gone by the time I got to the LCS and there were no ratios. There was like a couple of design variants that I wasn't really interested in, but I wanted to read Tiger Division. I did not get a copy of cover A. It seemed like everybody out there was probably grabbing a couple of copies. and it kind of seemed like a smart move. But other than that, I can't think recently within the last few weeks what major Marvel title has hit where ratio variants were popping off. And I stopped paying attention to a lot of those on eBay, but I'm talking like popping off in the LCS, excuse me, going for hundreds of dollars. I needed a new sofa, so I went and I was looking at a sofa, and the salesman told me this sofa will seat 5 people with. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That being said, that's Marvel. That's Star Wars. It is a light week. We're going to keep rolling. One book that I did pick up that I think we were talking about a couple of months ago on Brian's channel for New Comic Book Day was Soldier Stories. Now, Soldier Stories has 4 short stories from veterans in the book. This is a Top Cow Image release. And if I remember correctly, the sales do benefit one of the veteran groups. And right in the back, it talks about the USVAA, United States Veterans Artist Alliance. Really cool group, really cool program. And it's worth picking up. It's worth picking up if you like war stories, if that's your thing, if military stuff is your thing. It's worth picking up, checking out, especially if it benefits veterans groups, especially the USVVA veterans. I gotta commit to that. Gotta commit to remembering that. That's the USVAA, United States Veterans Artists Alliance. The United States Veterans Artists Alliance is an award-winning, multidisciplinary nonprofit founded in 2004 by military veterans and artists. They provide opportunities for veterans engaged in the creative economy, good Lord, by highlighting the work of veterans in the arts, humanities, and entertainment industry, along with the contributions by veterans to the rich cultural history of our nation and the world since the Revolutionary War. So that's really cool. Go out and grab a copy, buy a copy, send it to a friend, read the book. Not too bad. I enjoyed it. Not typing it again, moving. Also, JP botched it. There it is. We're moving on from that. What do you call a shrimp who only thinks of himself? Oh, God. A shellfish. Oh. There it is. Like we said, just a couple of more books we're on to the indies, and then IDW, always grabbing the TMNT books to lay it down for a rainy day, add into that pile, and that pile just continues to grow. That's okay. I feel like those are going to be really fun to sit down and binge like 10 or 15 copies at a time. But that means we're also getting the spinoff stuff, the Armageddon game, the Alliance of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Only DC this week. We got... Brother, House of L Comics, we did get a DC book, and we talked about Nice House on the Lake for at least a solid like 6, 7, 8 minutes, and where we are with that. So that's it. That's the 7 books. But more importantly, what came in the mail today? For those of you guys that follow us on Instagram, I'm really excited. We talk about paying attention to the comic market right now and paying attention to what's going on with correction or prices going down. There are going to be a lot more buying opportunities. And when it comes to buying opportunities, I'm not going to say no to some Dr. Aphra goodness. Darth Vader, number 4, CGC 9.8, second appearance of Dr. Aphra. This is the second print. Notice it's all black, all blue, black or blue, depending on your camera. The first print is all red. So finding a CGC 9.8 of the second print, neat. Well, what's the price at? It's being bid on. We won this for $38, essentially the cost to grab a copy, send it off to CGC. What's $26, depending on your status with CGC? $26, give or take. I think that's what it's up to grade a book. $24, $26, $24.50, whatever. Shipping to, shipping from. This is a solid $38 grab. I'm not going to lie. This is great for the Dr. Aphra collection, especially because we don't have a copy of the second print. Issue 4. Very cool. Absolutely still in love with Dr. Aphra and collecting the Dr. Aphra books, especially when they're already graded. Granted, there's there's taxes in eBay, and there's like a shipping fee, but when you think about it, still, it's already a $9.9. I don't have to buy the copy for $10 or $15 somewhere else, pay shipping and fees on that, then get it, then inspect it, and then pack it and ship it out, pay to ship it out, have it pressed or cleaned, $12 right there just in pressing and cleaning, then shipping it to CGC and then getting it graded. $38 plus shipping right there, 9.8 done. I mean, that was a massive, massive win. Really excited. because that's why, like we talked about, paying attention to what's going on with the dips. There are Walking Dead 1 prices, paying really close attention to that. Clone Wars 1, paying really close attention to that. So that being said, what you can do, don't forget to pay attention to the eBay stuff. If you're on the hunt for specific books, make sure you're creating those saved searches on eBay, and you're paying attention to what things are selling for and what some of those books that are being bid on, or what the buy it nows are, and look for those. Don't be afraid to use every avenue of comic sales or comic purchasing: eBay, Whatnot, Shortbox, Drip, Facebook Marketplace, My Comic Shop, Wonder World Comics, all the retailers out there that have websites. Don't be afraid to use them. Come on, Mama's snorting. So that means it's time to check out JP. Astronomers got tired watching the moon go around the Earth for 24 hours. They decided to call it. Yeah, that'll do it. That'll do it. It is a nice grab, Luke. Thank you. Now's the time to keep paying attention. Squirrel away $20 a paycheck. Set that stuff aside. Didn't get the 30th anniversary Superman. I'm not a Superman collector. Nope. That's just not me. Get with Nightwing. Peter, you're not wrong. I've had so many people pop in here and say I need to be reading Nightwing and at least reading that trades. I was trying to figure out why the ball kept getting bigger and bigger, and then it hit me. Speaking of getting hit, don't forget to hit that like button down below, that thumbs up button. Make sure you're following for content every Wednesday, because Peter definitely appreciates the effort. Gotta love it. What do you call a fake noodle? You call it an impasta. You guys aren't here for the comic books. You guys are here for the terrible jokes. Speaking of jokes, well, it's not a joke. We're going to take a quick look at this really. There's something dawned on me today talking about Wednesday and New Comic Book Day, was when we look at League of Comic Geeks every week, when you first open this up, this is sorted in most pulled to least pulled. Now, what does that mean? That doesn't mean most sold or most ordered through LCSs, but anybody that's using League of Comic Geeks, this is the order in which are least pulled to most pulled, or most pulled up top here. So obviously you get Spider-Man, Moon Knight, Dark Crisis, and Infinite Earths, Venom, Wonder Woman. So there's something interesting here is we're paying attention to what we're paying for comic books and what we're collecting, and trying to pay the most affordable rates or pay the least amount of money to build a collection. Is, if you think about it, if you're up here with the most pulled and the most copies, and you're all the way down here with the least copies of a book, somewhere in here, there's a happy medium. There's a happy medium somewhere in here. If a lot of what you're reading, you're finding is in the happy medium, make sure you're paying attention to ratio variance then, not store exclusives, not like this store and that store. I'm just talking like Marvel ratio variance or DC ratio variance, because this is really interesting here. What, 1, 2, 3, 4 rows down is Star Wars The High Republic #2. So normally Star Wars is like a flagship title when it comes to Marvel, and a lot of people are ordering it and a lot of people are reading it. But if it's 4 rows down in League of New Comic Geeks, it doesn't seem like a lot of people are pulling that. I mean, for reference, you've got, Wonder Woman. More people are pulling Wonder Woman and Nice House on the Lake and Spawn and Ghost Rider. Look at all of these other titles that are getting pulled in red. More so than Star Wars. Now, the Star Wars fan base is huge. It's rabid, especially in the comic book area. But this leads me to believe that there's a lot of Star Wars collectors that aren't grabbing this book, at least not on League of New Comic Geeks. That being said, going into my LCS today, there was only 1 ratio variant left behind, and there was probably like 2 little quarter stacks left of this book. So it wasn't sold out. And I know my LCS has a lot of regular pull list people that read Star Wars and buy Star Wars books. So not a lot of people were going in and picking up this book. Makes me kind of wonder how many are getting ordered. What I'm saying is if you're a Star Wars reader like me, not pay attention to those ratio variants and those print runs. This could be a time where they drop a key element in Star Wars over the next 6 to 8 or 10 months, and people like interest is kind of waning. People aren't really paying attention, and they could drop a 1 in 25 or 1 in 50 that you grab for $8, $9, $10. Like those guys, like you guys in the chat were just saying, picking up that 1 in 25 for $9. Well, if that book ends up becoming something, they put something on screen, you're 10 steps ahead of the game. You got it for $9. Now you don't have to hunt for it on eBay. Not saying go out and buy every book or every ratio of every new comic book day. Buy what you love, and you will love what you will buy all the time, every time. But if you're a Star Wars fan like me, now's the time to pay attention to the ratio variants. If you are a Amazing Spider-Man, I think there was a new character, the Golden Goblin or the Gold Goblin came out. Pay attention to what's going on with that if you're a Spider-Man fan. But what I'm saying is it was just kind of unique, not really unique, but it dawned on me today as looking at League of New Comic Geeks all the way down at the bottom. Now, these things are so obscure, like most of these books down at League of Comic Geeks at the bottom, I don't even get to see in my LCS. They're not getting ordered. I have to special order them. But obscurity doesn't always equate to value or equate to interest, right? So buying and reading something that's super obscure is something that some people are into. But if it's a title you're buying into, I wouldn't expect a ton of people to know much about it or to get really excited about it. But there's something about this happy middle, where you start getting into there's Year Zero, there's Gun Honey. You start to see some of the stuff that people have been talking about. There's TMNT. Where's the other Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles? Like I said, Year Zero. There's Soldier Stories. It's not a perfect barometer or compass, so to speak, but it's just kind of like, why is a Star Wars title not in the first 2 rows? And you know what I mean? The Fantastic Girl, what is going on? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. Thanks. Good to see you in Baltimore again this year. That was amazing. Good to run into you. Sorry we didn't spend more time together. It's got one of these years we're going to have to sit down and hang out with all the cosplayers out there. Last of Us looks pretty cool. Can't wait to watch us. Yes, they're coming up in the announcements tonight. We will go over that a little bit. Yes, you better buckle up, buckaroo, because we've got some big plans for some content based around The Last of Us. You got the last copy. There it is. Yep, we already got the Impasta. So that's just something. What are you guys using for New Comic Book Day? Are you using League of Comic Geeks? Or are you using something else to kind of see what's going on with the covers? Because that's one of the more often than not, they've got a lot of the covers on here. Fantastic Four was one a lot of people were talking about with the different covers. And I saw a lot of people talking about the solo variant. And see, they don't always have everything. They generally have the bulk of it, though. That's pretty nice. Nice House on the Lake. They actually had a cover B. Ooh, I was not aware of that. I only saw the cover A on the shelf. This has always been a really fun tool for Wednesdays or Tuesday nights. On Wednesdays, they have the bulk of the books up there. But it's kind of one of those things where we talk about what is happening and what we're paying attention to. So get ready for some more new content coming up. It's going to take a while to meld it together to really kind of get it. And even Wednesdays here are going to merge and be a little bit different as we actually buy less books. But what we're doing is we're paying attention to more about how books are being priced, how they're being ordered, and what's going on, because we're looking for those opportunities for those areas of our collection to build them more efficiently. I know there's a lot of people out there that love reading and collecting modern comic books on modern New Comic Book Day, or those books within the last 20 or 30 years. There's going to be more people out there that are going to find the content, and we're going to be out there to talk about it. And it's like we said, is it not exciting? Are you guys not excited to see some of this price correction and see what's going on? Sure, books aren't, going for what they were and whatnot. Might not have the same value they did the last couple of years, but that creates buying opportunities. Squirrel away some money. You're going to find something that you're looking for. You're going to find it really cheap, and you're going to go to IG and post about it, and everybody's going to celebrate with you. It's going to be an epic time. So let's get out of this. Let's talk about some announcements coming up. We have actually made the decision to cancel our GalaxyCon trip to Columbus. We realize that there is a lot going on. There's Grand Rapids Comic Con coming up this weekend. That is a quick single day trip. That's no big deal. That's just a ticket. That's going to be an easy in and out, hanging out with people. Peter Parker Pants, are you going to Grand Rapids? Let me know. I'm curious if anybody else, if you are watching this on the replay, you're going to Grand Rapids Comic Con, comment down below. Hit that follow button. Maybe we'll run into you there. See what happens with that Friday and that Saturday. You have to. Oh my God! Tomorrow's Thursday. Tomorrow's the 10th of November already. Christmas is just around the corner, which is why we did decide to cancel that Columbus trip. Columbus is not far of a drive, but when you factor in what it takes to get babysitting for the animals, babysitting for the mini human, babysitting for the house, then the hotel room for overnight, you're talking a lot of money for a 1.5, 2-day trip. And the CEO was like, honey, Ashley, Eckstein, and Matt, they're going to be at another convention another time next year. This isn't going to be the last one. We were starting to feel the crunch and the pressure to find a book to get signed by both of them. And we had one coming back from CGC that we just got graded, but I didn't want to crack that right away until I saw the grade. And I didn't want to resubmit it again because it feels like it just kind of cancels out the 20 some odd dollars we spent to grade that book. And then we didn't quite find the book at the right value in Baltimore, and that's okay. So we think there's going to be more buying opportunities leading into Christmas, and just after Christmas, we're going to keep a close eye on what happens with that. Think Clone Wars 1, think some of that other stuff, those books. Peter's not going to Grand Rapids Comic Con. That's okay. We'll look for you at the next one. Motor City's just around the corner too. And C2E2 is what, next May? I think they moved it to May. Going to be an exciting time. J Hood Comics, what is up, man? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. JP, I asked the girl I just started dating to meet me at the gym, but she never showed up. I guess we aren't going to work out. Yeah. God. I'm people that knows people that are going to the. There you go. J Hood, are you going too? I'm at one of those phases where it's like, it's probably not going to be Friday. It's probably not going to be this Friday. If I go, it's going to be like Saturday or something like that. And it's like, if I wake up at a decent time and get a cup of coffee in me and I'm feeling sparky, you'll probably run up there, but then I'm stuck waiting in line to buy a ticket because I didn't do pre-order or anything like that. Ryan's not going. I see. Now that's one of the reasons why I'm very iffy about Grand Rapids Comic Con is it's called Grand Rapids Comic Con, but there's hardly ever any comics there. There's the vendors that do show up there, like Tardy's Comic Corner, are fantastic. They bring some killer stuff, but there's still not anywhere near enough vendors for a Comic Con, in my opinion. It tends to be more pop culture and more cosplay based, which is fine. It's just, I grew up going to the Grand Rapids Comic Con, and for some reason, there's just less and less comics every year. My wife told me I ruined her birthday, but I didn't even, you didn't even know. They started opening up the hotel blocks for C2E2. Kind of. They posted on IG to say that they were opening up the blocks, but when we actually went to book a room, as we're members of that hotel, they wouldn't allow us. So either you got to call on the phone and tell them that you're booking a room with C2E2, or click on the link through C2E2. Maybe that works. But it's like, if I do that, then we don't get our rewards for our club membership. So it's kind of like, and if I call the hotel directly and book with them through our club account, then I end up getting the C2E2 rates anyways. They kind of cap them at that no matter what. So either way, even though they tell you you're getting a special rate by going through their website, you get the same rate if you call the hotel anyways. So, but if you go through their website, like I said, you don't get your bonus points or your club membership stuff. That's basically it. But got another Heir to the Empire 1. Yes, good time to look for those too, because this is probably going to be that good dip before we get Mandalorian's coming out. What, February? Mandalorian's not that far around the corner, first quarter of next year. And when Mandalorian season 3 drops, there's going to be renewed interest in everything Star Wars again. I want to call you everything, but you know what I'm talking about. Renewed interest in Star Wars via the Mandalorian is going to be renewed interest in some other stuff. And it's going to kind of liven people up. It's going to waken people up. They're going to be like, oh yeah, Dr. Aphra. Oh yeah, this. Oh yeah, that. Are they going to do a Vader spinoff? And we're going to be back talking about all the cool crap that we talked about for the last year, and we're really excited about. That's what's really cool. That's what's really cool. What, Daywalker, speaking of great Star Wars stuff, Daywalker, what is up, brother? Good to see you. Thanks for being here. If you were a little closer, you would go. That's right. I mean, that's one of those things like Columbus is We can't really make Columbus a one-day trip because it's about 5.5 hours with traffic each way. And who wants to spend 11 hours on the road and do a day trip at a con? That's not really doable. There are comic books, but there's nowhere near as many comic books as Baltimore, C2E2, or Motor City has more vendors. It's just kind of like that time of the year. Like Grand Rapids Comic Con falls in that time of the year where most dealers are done. If they're East Coast, they're not going to come from the East Coast out here. They finished Baltimore. They're pretty much done for the year. And anybody going out West Coast, Baltimore was, Grand Rapids Comic Con's 3 weeks after Baltimore. Well, they're not going to spend 2 days on the road driving and then stop in West Michigan and wait 2.5 weeks for that con. They're just going to go home. Then they're not going to come back. It's kind of the thought process. Like, I don't know if that's actually true, but that's kind of like a good likely theory on why there might not be more vendors there. Maybe they're charging more than what vendors want to see for a con that size for a booth. You have to check it out. You got your Marriott Awards last year. Yeah. We have Hyatt, we have Marriott, we've got most of them. That trick is when a convention says that the block is opened up, it doesn't always necessarily mean you can book through the hotel or through other areas. Or booking.com, a lot of those websites are going to show hotel blocks or hotels being sold out. Hence, Motor City Comic Con books that entire Hyatt hotel out, and you can't get a room no matter what, unless there's a link that I keep missing on the website. Either way, I digress. What did the full glass of water say to the empty glass of water? You look drunk. That's true. Andor is fantastic. I agree. There was a little bit of buildup. It sounds like a lot of people in the community weren't quite enthralled or sucked in right away at the beginning, and I get that, and I kind of understand that. But I'm really loving the spy/espionage aspect, digging a little more into Star Wars, and I feel like Andor's not drawing the same amount of excitement and clamor and uproar as some other Star Wars content, because we essentially kind of know how Andor ends, right? Via Rogue One. We kind of know where this is going to end up. So maybe that's the kind of like putting the cart before the horse, so to speak, and then going back and telling the rest of the story. It's kind of tempered people's expectations or their excitement a little bit. Either way, I'm digging it. If you are like me and read or listen to the Comic-Con podcast on Stitcher or Spotify, and Milton the Manimal and JD Nemesis Prime talking to those guys, or listen to those guys talk about how season 1 takes place, all 12 episodes take place in the course of the year. Season 2 of Andor is going to be every 3 episodes is going to be a year. If my understanding is right, and they're doing 12 episodes, that's 1, 2, 3, 4 years in season 2. So season 2 is going to be insane. It's going to be gangbusters. In fact, we're going to watch Andor tonight. So I'm going to skip over anything that looks spoilerly for the chat here. Trailers and announcements prior to that, absolutely. Having a hard time getting into Andor. Maybe sit down and watch it and binge it in like 2 or 3 shots in like 3 or 4 hour blocks. That might help, because the pacing isn't super great at the beginning. Find that Punisher. No, we didn't. I am actually going to be, we're in kind of talking about announcements. That's one of the announcements that I was going to make. Thank you for bringing this up. I'm going to be recording a video and lightly editing it and putting it up on the channel. And it's going to be a call to arms. I'm going to be asking the YouTube, the Instagram, TikTok, but all of the comic book community everywhere to keep their eyes out, keep their eyes peeled, to look for Punisher Volume 2 books and CGC 9.8. Now, for those of you that don't know, in fact, let's just take a second and actually bring it up. For more than 15 years now, the CEO and I have been working on, let's just go ahead and bring it right up here. We're going to share screen. For those of you that aren't aware, CGC has a registry. Yep. And for everybody that is aware, I get on this registry daily. You can explore everybody else's sets out here, alphabetical order. We're going to go right to the P, giggity, right down to Punisher Volume 2, 1987. There's 102 sets here at, oh boy, you guys can't see that very well at all. There we go. That's better. There we go. Much better. All right. Number 1, this fine gentleman, if he is in the IG community, I'd love to talk to him and actually see how he stores his collection. This is very exciting. 2008 10, 11, he missed 9, but all of these years he's been first place, all the way to 20, 21, 22. He's had the first place tag, bagged, and slabbed Punisher collection. All complete, first rank, full score, best in set type. And even before he took first place in 2008 and completed this run, lonely little me down here in second place. I've been working on this set for quite a while, but these books are getting really, really hard to find in 9.8 or in grades that are going to make 9.8. So we're going to be recording a small snippet, like a 3 to 4 minute segment, asking for assistance, looking for these books. I know right here, Trump number 12 is the 9.6 that I want to upgrade at some point. 28, that's the one we posted about on Instagram. 28, no comic. 30, no comic. And it's not like you can't find these things, right? You can find 9.0s, 9.2s. We're shooting for a full run of 9.8s, obviously. And DeButcher reached out to me today and said he was going to take a look. He's got a big Punisher collection. He might have some doubles and some extras. And I'll get back into the comments here in just a second for after this section. 37, 40, 42, 44, 45. Now you start 40s and 50s and 60s. The print runs weren't great and people weren't taking care of the books. So I was finding them in high grades really hard. 53, 54, 55. That's that No Escape run where Frank Castle's in the Rikers Penitentiary. If I remember correctly, it was in that 50, 51, 52, 53. That's one of the best story arcs out of volume 2, in my opinion. Had some fantastic covers. 62 all the way straight down, because what I did is I made a very conscious effort when I was building this collection near the beginning. As you'll notice here, 97 through like annual 3 is done, because those were the low print run books. Those were the hard books to get that were expensive. And you see each book starts with either a 1 or a 2 pretty much for the most part. There's a 0.9. All of these 1s and 2s, and don't mind the 3.98. That's a 9.2 that I just got back. So 99 was a book that I thought, it was a newsstand edition, if I remember correctly, that I thought was going to be a really high grade, and it came back at 9.2. So we're going to have to find a better copy for that. But 1, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 1. Those are all books we bought super early after they got graded. Long time ago, because that was always going to be the most difficult part of this run to complete, was going to be those low print run books. What I'm finding out is that it's way more difficult in the middle of the run, actually. This big chunk of books in the middle of the run just don't pop up on eBay anymore. The first 10 books are easily found on eBay pretty regularly. 10 carries a premium with that Daredevil cover. I think 8's another one that carries a premium. Either way, that's kind of where we're at. That set number 2 has been in existence for quite a long while. Just updated this past week because we got a box back from CGC. We did not unbox it and do that on the channel. We might go back through those books because we received our first ever restored book. Yeah, in fact, that's probably going to be something that we're going to go ahead and talk about on the channel here coming up soon. We will go live one of these nights and we'll talk about it. But that's where we're at. It's time to kind of shit and get off the pot. Not going to lie. Time to kind of shit and get off the pot and really start making some headway by asking for help, by asking people. There's so many people out there that I've been really happy to help. Maybe it's time for me to ask for a little bit of help when it comes to completing some collection portions and finding those books in 9.8 contenders and purchasing them raw. I'm happy to send them out and get graded and kind of take that gamble. But I'm even more happy to find them already in 9.8 for affordable rates and just pick them up and add them. And it saves a ton of work. There's going to be some excitement about getting the books pressed clean and graded and seeing what they come back for that. That's what that last batch from CGC did. It was a batch of 10 books that were all Punisher books. The mini series 1 through 5 we sent out and got graded. We sent out like 3 or 4. No, we sent out another 5 books that were just for that registry collection. One of them came back. Who restores a book from 1995? Like, and it's not even a key. This is what blows my mind. It's got light restoration, and I don't know. I can't believe it. I can't find it anywhere on the book. I've got to ask some friends for some help on that. But that's one of the major announcements. We're going to be doing a little bit of snippet content coming up because there's like 3 things that I want to record, and it's just finding a night of sitting down and doing them all and then editing them. That being said, we are going to record. We are going to sit down and record here very soon. The Ultimate Fallout acetate books from C2E2 are back. CGC finally shipped those back, and they are the hell do you even do with that book? We had great intentions. We had good intentions. We wanted to do some good with some of those copies and do some charity auctions, and then we get that whole scenario that happened. That was terrible. So I want to record some content. Those books are back. I want to put the last nail in that coffin and close that chapter and move on, because that honestly took way more of an emotional toll and energy than it should have, and really kind of ruined that C2E2 trip for me. I don't know about a lot of other people, but that situation killed it. That book's it's back. The situation's done, but I'd like to record the content and close it, because that's kind of where, before we took a break from YouTube, the content left off. Recorded content left off at that, contacting CGC and asking to cancel those books and being denied, and then that whole thing unfolded. But yeah, to answer your question, we did not find it yet. I have not checked my messages. A couple of people are actually messaging me now on Instagram. Maybe we'll find a copy. Maybe somebody out there. There's 16 copies of 9.8 out there on the census for Punisher Volume 2, number 28. Maybe one of those 16 people that are not interested in a registry set or a complete set has one that they'll let it go. There's some dealer out there somewhere that has a copy. I'm sure of it. Really hope I can get in Motor City next year. My favorite show, yes. Motor City next year, the spring Motor City we will be going to. It's going to be interesting. Spring Motor City, and then you've got MegaCon and C2E at the same time. There's going to be a lot going on next spring convention series. Not convention wise, nothing worse than showing up to Comic-Con and all they're selling is dream catchers and swords. I grew up in Grand Rapids, and that's my biggest complaint about just that town, is like the Comic-Con. Like, you walk in last year when I went, we did a one day when we walked in, and the first table or two was like somebody's garage sale. What kind of image are you trying to put forward as a comic book convention when the first two tables you walk in is just random swap meet stuff out of somebody's garage? That's neither Comic-Con or cosplay or pop culture or nerdy or anything. Just random shit on a table. What the hell? And the worst part is Grand Rapids Comic-Con charges big time Comic-Con ticket prices, as much as C2E2, as much as Motor City, as much as Baltimore. But yet the con itself, the meat and the potatoes, the bones of the convention, delivers only about half the experience as Baltimore and C2E2 and Motor City. So it's kind of like, I will go for the people. I will absolutely go for the people. If I see people that comment down below in tonight's episode after the fact that they're going, I'm going to want to go see those people. And I'll pay that ticket price to see those people. That's important to me. But I'm not gonna sugarcoat shit. I'm gonna be real about what I see and what I feel. This is kind of why, like, you guys haven't seen me record any Comic-Con convention stuff and post it up, because I felt like after the last couple that I had fun at, and I went to like Grand Rapids Comic-Con last year, I went to something else. I'm like, I can't record this. This isn't that, is it really healthy if I sit there and record content and say there's this, and this that I think they can do better? Oh, it's not. The people running Comic Cons don't want constructive criticism from fans. They don't want criticism from people that go to cons. They want to put it on. They want to get the best people they can get there. They want to sell the most tickets. But when it comes to people actually spending money there and running through the hoops and running through the alleys and going there and being, they don't give a rat's ass what we think about the convention. Honestly. The cons are for the fans. Cons are for the fans. You hear that all the time, but the only people that I hear that take feedback about a convention is like Baltimore. Am I wrong? It's like one of those things. It's like, why go spend 60, 70 for the people? I'll go hang out with people. Absolutely. Like I said that again. I'm not about to go spend $60, $65 for a one-day pass to Grand Rapids Comic-Con when it's run the way it is. It's like, that's big con ticket prices, and yet they're not even drawing the big con staples. Give me comic book dealers. Give me all the nerdy stuff. Don't give me somebody's garage sale swap shit on the first two tables after I spent $60 to get in. It looks terrible. I can't be the only one that would be irritated by that. Golly. It's best to binge Andor. Yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. Is I've been watching it week to week with the CEO. We're gonna watch the next episode here in about 10 minutes when she comes back downstairs. First couple episodes are slow. Yep, I agree with that. We'll have the Hall of Heroes Con. Yes, Hall of Heroes. Yes, that I do want to go to. Now that was cool. I don't remember spending hardly anything to get into that con, and what we did spend actually is donated to the museum, the Hall of Heroes Museum. That was really cool. That was a short, maybe like hour and a half, 2 hour ride. I definitely want to go to that, Jay Hood. I don't want to miss out on that. In fact, I got to get a hold of Skeff to see if he's going to be going. In fact, we have to strong arm Skeff to go. He's not that far. You know, the organizer is trying to use GRCC as a model. So too few comics for me, Jim Shooter, as a guest, though. But when I went to Hall of Heroes last time, they had plenty of comic book vendors. Now, if he wants to use GRCC as a model, I don't know. I guess it depends on what kind of con that they're actually trying to make. If he wants a convention that's going to support the Hall of Heroes museum, he should probably look to Baltimore for inspiration. Honestly, look to Baltimore for inspiration. I met the individual and I asked to interview him, and he gave me his card and said email him, and he said it's kind of one of those things where a lot of people that are in these positions, if you want to interview them, have them be on YouTube, they're just not keen to what a lot of us have been doing the last couple of years of live interviews, video conference calls, things of that nature, recording some of that content. And just kind of became one of those things where it's like that was content that wasn't going to come together. I definitely want to go back down there. And we scored some sweet Star Wars books there last year. I definitely want to go back down there. But you know, the organizers trying to use GRCC as a model. I would offer, like, nobody cares about my opinion, but maybe tell him to look at Baltimore as a better model. Maybe he's using GRCC as a model to get like model for like the line and the tickets and stuff like that. Maybe not the con floor. I don't know. It's a conversation I'd love to be. It's a fly. I'd love to be a fly on that wall, so to speak, to kind of hear how some of these people put these things together, because where's the feedback form for a lot of conventions? You know what I mean? Like, holy moly. Yes, go binge it, mama. You're going to like it. You're going to like it once you binge it. Andor is a good slow burn. I am in agreement. John, what is up, brother? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. You'll check your copy. Daywalker says, thank you so much. Double O, brother. Hello, ComicManAndy and the Dojoites. Speaking of Double O, like we talked about, this is a great time for the last part of the announcement, or the other part of the announcement. The Last of Us. We are 9.5 weeks away from The Last of Us. It's going to come up on us real quick. I'm imploring Double O and another friend that's going to be a surprise guest, maybe. We're going to come back on like a Monday night. We're going to like pregame. No, not pregame, but before the show drops on a Sunday. So either a Thursday, Friday, or a Saturday night. We're going to get together. We're going to analyze and go over the trailer. We're going to talk what we're excited about. We're going to talk what our expectations are. We're going to talk about what our hopes are for Last of Us. We're going to talk about playthroughs on game part 1 and part 2. We're going to just talk Last of Us for an hour or two. Then we're going to sit down and buckle up for that weekend ride of that first episode. It's what, 9 episodes? I think we're getting 9 weeks of The Last of Us. And I'm really excited. I'd be shocked if they don't go to a season 2. There's no way this is not going to go to a C2E2. There's not going to go to a season 2. I'm really excited. Double O said he wants to be a part of that. I'm really excited for that. It's going to be, we don't have a name. We'll figure it out here. Renovision, what is up, brother? Want to stop in and say hi. Good to see you, man. Make sure you guys are checking out Renovision. Marco and Pete put on some great content and have a massive amount of Star Wars knowledge. Yes, we're Color Touch. Yes, the Star Wars, the Punisher book that I sent out, I think it was 88 or 92 or something like that. It was a newsstand edition, and I got it I paid an upcharge of like $25 or $35. I paid double what I felt I should be paying because it looked crispy clean. It was a newsstand edition. I sent it out to get cleaned and pressed, and it came back with Color Touch on it. C1. I don't have it out here. It's buried. I kind of like hide the shame. First purple label. I don't mind restored books, but restored books that are not keys and like this one just doesn't make any sense. And I can't wait to talk about to you guys on we'll do kind of that re-unboxing of that box. But yes, hey Renovision, you'll be over in a second. He says, yes, we'll be over in a second to see Renovision. Planet Arizona Comics, what is up? Andy Panda. Back on the own channel. Yes, we are back every Wednesday for New Comic Book Day. Like we said, we talk about 3 different pieces of content that we're going to be creating coming up here. 2 of which are going to be, one of which is definitely going to be a surprise. I already spoiled the other 2, but we'll talk about that. Paul says, move on. Let's go back to the basics. I'd love to read and review books with you at some point, maybe group chat thing. Yes, absolutely. Move on from my rant. Is that what you're saying, Paul? Yeah, we definitely want to do something about that in the future. Going to keep an eye out for that Punisher. Yes, thank you so much, Planet. We are actually just talking about that registry set we have going, number 2 on that list right now, and we're missing several issues. So if you go to 1987's Punisher Volume 2 CGC registry set, we own the one that's in the number 2 spot, and all those open spots is what we're working to fill. MegaCon Orlando at the end of March. That's the same weekend as C2E2. So we'll see how that all shakes out. MegaCon, I'd love to fly down to sunny, warm, beautiful Florida and see Alec and a lot of my other friends and John. But then C2E2 is that weekend too. So what's a boy to do? I mean, do they sell hot tubs though? I don't know, man. I don't know. Selling the tubs, Paul? Oh, God, yeah. I give her rat's ass all the time. It's my second favorite currency right behind poop. I usually give a shit first. Nice. Andy, you're not alone. I'm not alone. Yeah, it's just kind of one of those things where I don't necessarily want the content to be content where I sit and get spicy all the time and just complain about what conventions are doing that I don't like, because conventions are not built for ComicManAndy. They're built for the whole fandom. But I'm got to be crazy or eating some crappy Cheerios or something to think that there aren't a bunch of other people in the fandom that feel the same way when you're Comic-Con. And there's a garage swap meet. The first 2, I can't. No, I'm not the only one. I'm not. I'll have to give HOH Con another shot. I'd love to see you there, man. I'm sorry I missed you last year. It's not a big con. It's a fun little convention where we made a lot of new friends and met a lot of cool people that watch YouTube content. That was one of the first conventions last year where I was walking around. Somebody heard me talk and said, "Hey, you're ComicManAndy." And I'm like, "Yeah, how are you? I don't know. What's your name?" "Oh, yeah, really." That was really cool. It was really cool to connect with a lot of other people in the community. You designed the museum logo. That is awesome. Very, very cool. Very cool. Hey, Big Nuts. Tricky Trapster, what is up? Thanks for being here. Good to see you. What do you call 2 birds stuck together? Ugh. Velcros. Nice. Velcros. Very nice. There you go. That's New Comic Book Day. Those are the announcements. Like we said, 3 pieces of content. The con, we're canceling GalaxyCon. It's the amount of money it's going to take to go there and get that done right before Christmas is a little bit rough. A little bit rough. A great pickup. Follow us on Instagram. I love seeing everybody share their pickups on Instagram and what they've got going on there. So I love being a part of that. It's not a 9.8. It's only a 10. It's only a 10. Holy crap, Dave Walker, send it. But still, like we said, the acetate books are back from CGC, ungraded. We selected option 3. We must have been the only ones, but they took months to come back. So I want to create a piece of content for that. I want to create a piece of surprise content because of that. And then, like we said, Last of Us, 00, surprise other guests. We want to go dig into the trailer. We want to do some comparisons with part 1 and part 2 and some other stuff. I think that's going to be a fun. I'm going to be really riled up. I know 00 is going to get really riled up, and I think that's going to be an amazing show for a bunch of people to watch and hang out that if you don't know about Last of Us, you will, and you're going to like it. That old school 90s commercial, I guarantee it. But still, thank you everybody for being here. That's New Comic Book Day. Thanks for listening to me ramble. Eventually, we'll have some guests on Wednesday to talk about that. But leave a comment down below. Tell me what you were picking up this week. What was your first read? What was your cover buy of the week? Comment down below what your LCS is. Promote your local comic shop so other people can find them. And just remember that we're all here to help each other, right? Promote your local shop. Promote where you grab your books, what your favorite read is. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to hit that thumbs up button. We'll be back every week. And remember, the mission for 2022 is Mission 22. All super chats, all super stickers, all ad revenue, everything donated. There it is, $5 from Zuni for Mission 22. Thank you. That will go to Mission 22. In fact, we're gonna do a live stream where we try to match stuff. We're gonna do a end of the year special for Mission 22 where we try to match a bunch of stuff. Hit that like button. Paul enjoyed the new Orc Island 2 from Bad Idea. Do a Power Bomb was great too. I wish we could get Bad Idea books where I live, but we can't. And like we said, Mission 22. But don't forget the most important part. All day, every day are each and every one of you. This great comic book community, you guys are the most important part. But don't forget the next most important thing. Be original. Take care of each other. Peace out, everybody. Have a great night. We're going to go piggies out. We're going to peace out if I did that backwards. Catch you all on the flip side for the next one. Have a great night, everybody. Tomorrow's Thursday.
Be excellent to each other. And party on, dudes.